What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Big Bike BMX. My name is Isaac, and today we're going to talk about the news that I heard about last week, some things that are going down in the future, and we'll just talk about how you can be involved in the big BMX world right now. All right. So 2025 is definitely shaping up to be the year of the bigger big BMX bikes, and we will talk about that shortly. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about what's going on over at Torker. This one's pretty cool. I'm excited to show you this. They have the new rugs. So if you just go over to Torker, click up here at this little search button, type rug, shop display rug. These are the long horizontal rugs that would fit under your bike, let's say out in a parking lot for a bike show. Or frankly, if you're like me, I think it would look great under my sink in my master bathroom. So I can just see a Torker logo when I'm getting ready for work. I think that's pretty cool. So very cool to see that over at Torker. And then you can also search chain tensioners. And here we go. We have the Torker chain tensioners. They are polished gold and black. So very cool to see that. They are loaded now. The rugs, when you go there, will say that they are not in stock. And that's simply because they haven't loaded them yet. They haven't sold out. I promise you. Just click notify me when available and you will see those. All right, y'all. Old School BMX Reunion. It's going down this month, September 26th, 27th, 28th at Woodward in LA. Xavier and John Pova put on an amazing show. This year, they are highlighting the amazing fellas from the Dyno team and Damian Fulton. So you're going to have Dave Volker, Dino DeLuca, Bob Morales, and then, of course, Damian Fulton's going to be there. This is a fun experience to go. They have the best goodie bags available. You're going to see some of these Vans, the slip-ons, or the regular tie-on shoe kind. That's what they look like. They're pretty cool. Excited about that. They do have the best goodie bags available to everybody. So head on over to osbmxr.com, secure your spot at the camp, and have a good time at the end of this month, y'all. It's going to be crazy. I can't wait to hear about it and hear what your experiences are at the Old School BMX Reunion. All right, y'all, here we go. This is pretty amazing. The big TR36 from Royer, Horton, and Tom Monroe down in San Diego, SD Biking. They wanted to make some 36s and they wanted to make them complete. And they took it upon themselves to go and source these bikes. I think it's pretty phenomenal that they're able to do this. They went and had someone create the frames, create the forks, create the handlebars, build the 36-inch hoops, tires, all of that. And they're selling these as completes. There's 15 of them. Pretty amazing to see. I'm pretty psyched for them. That's what it looks like. It's got that big gusset in the front, aluminum frame, chromoly handlebars, chromoly forks, Magura hydraulic brakes on these. And so far, the two prototypes have either Black Widow cranks or Technique cranks. I'm not sure what the completes are going to end up with, but we are going to talk with Tom and Royer shortly to find out more about their idea behind this bike. But just, I'm sharing it because it's out there. A complete 36-inch bike is available. Hit up Royer or hit up Tom to learn more from SD Biking. Pretty cool to see this out there. Great looking bikes. Super, super solid. There's the Black Widow cranks. I do have some video, but it's not working out great on the slide share. So I don't want to even show it to you because it's the quality isn't great, but it's pretty impressive to see what they're building out there. All right, so let's move on to the SE Bikes news. So last week, Todd had some friends over to his house to go on a ride. And as Todd does, he showed off some bikes that he had in a deck of like, hey, here's the new drop. So I will tell you what I heard. I don't know how accurate this was. I wasn't part of this. This is just something that I started getting text messages at like 1:30 in the morning when everyone left saying, hey, I just saw some cool stuff at Todd. So here we go. I heard that the new Bike Life seat is in over at Todd's house. He does have the actual seat. I heard it's a little bit more stiff than people were expecting, but it's not been ridden yet. So I'm not surprised by that at all. It does have the lip on the back of the seat, which will keep your butt from falling off if you're riding a wheelie, so we can stop having to dip our seats down, which is kind of cool. I also like that if you're into surfing or doing surfers, The lip on the back of the seat will give you some bracing for your back foot, and then you can put your front foot on the front crossbar, and surfers will be easier for that as well. So that is cool to see that. The other pretty cool thing that is new for SE bikes, people were telling me that they have a two-tone hoop, and I was like, tell me more. And it sounds like what they're describing is that the side of the hoop has been machined so that it's not anodized anymore, so the anodized color doesn't wear off with your brake pads. So that is a pretty cool thing to have. And it's just going to make your hoops look better for longer, because you're not going to have the purple. If you have like a purple rain, it's not going to be wearing off from the brake pad because it's been machined. If that's accurate, I don't know. Sounds cool. I'm excited to see what that looks like for the rim brake hoops that are out there. The other thing to cover is, if you remember a couple years ago, SE kind of goes in waves. And so there was a year that was heavy on hydro dipped bikes. So that we had the striped bike, the peace sign bike, the geometric shape bike, the big Woody, the Marshawn Lynch with the money, things like that. This year, we are going to see a lot more of the crackle paint job that we originally saw with Christopher Bullock's cream bike. So you're going to see a lot more of that. If you remember the cream bike, I believe it looks black, but then when it has that reaction to the chemical, either it's heat or some kind of chemical reaction, it crackles, and the color behind it is red. So it kind of looks like lava. It's a neat effect. I think it's great. I think you're going to see that on the Bike Life line, not so much in the retro line, but I could be wrong. But I'm excited to see that because I think that effect looks great. I think it's a very cool look, and it's neat. I think it's great. I would have loved to have that on a bike as a kid and as an adult, to be honest with you. So I'm excited about that. The PK Ripper, the one that I was riding back when I was on SE, was silver and black. Now it's silver and blue. If you remember, that line went from silver and black on the launch to black with blue, and then to green and chrome, and now it's back to silver and blue. That's pretty interesting. Now, here's the biggest one of them all, the thing that's going to blow people's minds. A couple weeks ago, Todd released or confirmed the 32-inch Colossal Ripper. Not a 36, a 32-inch Colossal Ripper. People went nuts. They thought it was great. I've ridden it. I rode it at Dirty Fest. I thought it was a pretty comfortable bike for the size that it is. I think 29 is probably the biggest I would ever want to ride. But I do see the market for the 32 and the 36. I think they're cool. Just not for me. Now, while Todd was going through and showing off these new bikes, he showed off the Colossal Ripper, and then he quickly changed to the next page and quickly changed again. People are like, wait, go back. In that, it appears that in that quick change of slides was this. A 32-inch quad angle, the STR type with the two down tubes here. This one is just a regular. I think this is 26 or 29. It has pads and a number plate. This is not the actual bike that people were shown. This is me giving you an example, so you know when I say quad and the double down tubes, you know what I'm talking about. It's not the monster quad style. So if that is true, that is a game changer, in my opinion, that they are dropping a 32-inch quad. The quad is probably the most popular bike that SE makes, and having that in a 32-inch is very, very interesting. I hear it's blue, just like the Colossal, so that makes me think maybe I'm being trolled. I don't know. But pretty cool nonetheless. If this is just a rumor, it's a fun rumor. If it's a reality, it's a pretty cool reality. I would call your bike shops, ask to be put on a list if you are after one of these quads. I would just ask early, hey man, if that is a real bike, can you please put me on a list early, because I would like it. That's pretty neat. So the one thing they didn't do, and the one thing that I'm just air mathing in my mind, I'm anticipating you're going to hear people say, same bikes, new colors. All they did is repaint them. And I understand that philosophy. I understand that, but I think SE is innovating quite a bit. You have a 32. It looks like two 32s this year. So those are completely new bikes, but they do fall under that design model, looking like a typical SE. I would like to see Todd go and make his own Wildman big bike, because he started Bike Life. He made the 29. He's been around this forever. He's done backflips forever. He's been on all the major ride outs. He understands what kids are doing on his bikes. I would like to see him do something where he's doing like a double crossbar on handlebars to make surfers easier for kids. I would like to see him maybe make some pegs that work with landing gear, or make the landing gear forks, the drop out so it can fit a peg. I see kids in South America, over like in Poland, and I want to say like Brazil, places like that. I see them doing hang fives, downhills, going crazy, doing pretty interesting things on bikes that I don't see people doing in the US, because they just don't have those, like they're not putting pegs on their front bikes or on their front wheels. So I would like to see what Todd could do without saying, hey, I need to use Floval, I need to use a loop tail, I need, just taking a blank piece of paper, and what kind of bike would he design that he sees pushing the envelope of big BMX for these kids for the next 5 years. What does that look like? Where would he put platforms? What would he do to it? How would he shorten that rear end? What would he do? I'm just curious, man. I think he would be an amazing bike. I would love to see what he does with all of that knowledge. He designs all the SE bikes, the geometry and things like that, but I would love to see him just take off. Well, kind of like what they did with the quad angle when freestyle was around, how they made the freestyle version of the quad. I'd like to see him make like a bike life version of the Wild Man. That might be neat. I don't know, man, but I just would like to see what Todd could do if he went off like just doing his own things. But other than that, man, I do see a lot of innovation. I guess maybe I'm on the other side of that fence, because I see the Savage quad, the Killer quad, the Monster quad. I see all these different things that I think to me are new. And I think, I don't know why people criticize it. There's new paint job, same stuff. I think people want different parts, and you're seeing a lot of Shimano parts on it, the higher end SEs. So that's kind of cool to see that. So I think SE's making some great progress and some carrying the brand very well to stay relevant. And look, man, they're in the business of selling bikes to a lot of people. So that's what they have to do, and they got to make them look cool. Truth is just what it is, man. Truth of the situation. So anyway, cool stuff to check out. Make sure you're following Todd Lyons and SE to see this new stuff. I don't know if I'm even supposed to talk about this, so I might get blacklisted, and you may never hear SE news from me again because I get blacklisted, or I maybe will have some spy pictures coming up. Let's see how Todd reacts. But anyway, y'all, have fun. Go ride your bikes. Do something rad. Talk about it with your friends just like you did when you were 13. And I'll be back here next week, and I'll tell you what I hear around the world of big bike news. We'll see you later. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.